This book, How to Stop Worrying and Start Living, is not just a collection of advice, it's a heartfelt guide crafted from the very core of the author's personal experiences. Every page breathes life into his journey, sharing the battles he faced with worry and the incredible transformations he made. Imagine the weight of worry, that heavy, suffocating feeling that holds you down, making every day feel like a struggle. The author felt it too. But through his own trials, he discovered ways to break free from this invisible prison, and now, through this book, he's extending a hand to lead you toward the same freedom. It's like having a wise, caring mentor whispering life-changing truths into your ear, pushing you toward a more enjoyable, peaceful, and fulfilling life. This isn't just a book, it's an emotional roadmap to self-awareness. With every word, the author guides you to not only recognize the deep-rooted worries within yourself but also to open your eyes to the world around you, to see it with clarity, and to understand that there is more to life than the endless cycle of fear and anxiety. What makes this book stand out is how deeply it resonates with the human experience, and that's why it has been translated into an astounding 58 languages. It's as if people from all walks of life, across the globe, have found solace in its pages, because the struggles of worry and the yearning for peace are universal. The author doesn't just offer vague advice, he breaks down his wisdom into 8 insightful sections. Each section is like a doorway into a new realm of understanding, filled with practical tips, emotional revelations, and actionable strategies to stop the storm of worry from taking over your life. Whether it's learning to embrace the present moment or discovering how to let go of the things you cannot control, each part of this book digs deep into the essence of human worry and offers a lifeline, a way out. This isn't just a book you read and set aside. It's a journey, one that encourages you to pause, reflect, and start living again, without the chains of worry holding you back. The lessons here are designed to free your mind, heal your heart, and help you rediscover the joy and fulfillment that life has to offer. If there's one thing I've learned through my own struggles, it's this: you must know your worries' basic facts. That might sound simple, but it's incredibly powerful. We all worry about something, whether it's our health, finances, relationships, or the uncertainty of the future. But have you ever stopped to ask yourself, what exactly am I worried about? So often, we get caught up in a storm of anxious thoughts, but we don't even fully understand why. You see, knowing the specific reason behind your worry is the first step to overcoming it. And once you know it, you can begin to tackle it head-on. Let me share something crucial with you: to care less about worries, start caring more about your present tasks and goals. You're likely worried about what lies ahead, about the future, the unknown. But here's the truth: the future is not this big, scary monster. It's simply the result of what you're doing right now, in the present. What you do today shapes your tomorrow, and the author cannot emphasize this enough. That's why I suggest a simple yet profound exercise: grab a piece of paper, write down what you truly want in the future, and tape it right beside your bed. Read it every morning, let it remind you of your goals, and make it the priority of your day. Take, for example, the dream of buying a house. It's a common goal, but for many, it's a source of endless worry. You might think, I need more money. How will I ever afford it? That kind of thinking just drags you down into a pit of anxiety. But don't stop there. Don't allow yourself to be trapped in endless thought. The key is action. The first step: set a budget. The second: figure out where and when to buy. As soon as you start taking these concrete steps, you'll notice something incredible: your worry starts to fade. Why? Because now, you're in control. You've taken charge of your situation, and that's exactly what I want for you. But don't stop with just taking action. The author urges you to regularly analyze your progress. Ask yourself, how am I doing? What's working, and what needs improvement? This is how you refine your approach, how you grow. The author encourages you to apply these principles every day. Trust me, if you follow through, you'll feel the weight of your worries lift. Now, let's talk about the past and future. Here's something important to remember: we tend to spend far too much time either stuck in the past or anxious about the future. Both are traps. When you worry, it's usually about something that already happened or something that might happen. But neither of these things is under your control. Focus on the present. Keep the past in the past and the future where it belongs, in the future. The author promises you this: when you live in the present, you'll find peace. And let's be honest, when we dwell on the past, what happens? We start blaming ourselves for everything that went wrong. We replay our mistakes and regret our decisions. But what good does that do? The past is unchangeable. All you can do is learn from it and move forward. If you apply this principle, focusing on the present, you'll eliminate so many unnecessary tensions from your life. And about the future? Stop being anxious about it. Worrying about tomorrow doesn't make tomorrow better. In fact, it clouds your thinking and prevents you from planning effectively. Here's a critical piece of advice: when you're planning for the future, also plan for the worst-case scenario. Yes, you heard me right. Prepare yourself mentally for the worst. What happens when you do that? Your mind accepts the possibility of the worst outcome, and with that acceptance comes an incredible release of positive energy. This energy will give you the strength to handle whatever comes your way, and more often than not, you'll find that the worst never happens. But if it does, you'll be ready. Worry, my friends, is born from fear. And fear has a way of eating away at you. But when you understand what worry can do to you, you naturally begin to stop worrying. Let's not ignore the science behind it. Research shows that continuous worrying has devastating effects on your health. It can lead to high blood pressure, heart disease, and even ulcers. It's no exaggeration to say that if you worry less, you'll not only live a happier life, but you'll live a longer one, too. So what do you do when worry takes over? You review it. Look at it closely. What are the facts? What's really bothering you? Analyze every point critically, and I promise, once you have the facts, the fog of worry will lift. With clarity comes understanding, and with understanding comes peace. Ask yourself this: what's the worst possible outcome if I can't solve this problem or reach this goal? Mentally prepare to accept that worst-case scenario. Once you've done that, you've taken away its power. From there, focus on improving the situation, step by step. Ask yourself, what is the problem? What is the root cause? What are the possible solutions? And most importantly, which solution is the best? When you follow this process, you will not only find a way forward but also discover an inner calm, knowing that you've done everything in your power to handle life's challenges. To break the worry habit before it breaks you, keep busy. Imagine this: your mind is like a room, and when worry sneaks in, it fills every corner, suffocating your joy and peace. But the moment you start filling that room with activities you enjoy, worry has no space left to take hold. Research has shown that our minds can't focus on multiple things at once. This means, quite literally, we can't be both happy and worried at the same time. It's why doctors often recommend occupational therapy for people suffering from anxiety. When you keep busy, whether it's a hobby, work, or simply helping others, you generate a cloud of positive thoughts that act as a barrier against worry. The author urges you to stay occupied, to fill your mind with anything productive, because that's how you stop worry from creeping back in. And here's another golden rule: don't fuss about trifles. Don't permit little things to ruin your life, the author insists. It's so easy to let the small, insignificant annoyances of life pile up until they feel overwhelming. But should we really allow minor issues to steal our peace of mind? The author encourages you to avoid trivial matters, those tiny bumps in the road that we often magnify into mountains. Next time something small goes wrong, try shifting your focus to something more important. Life is incredibly short, too short to waste on worrying about things that won't even matter tomorrow. By letting go of the small stuff, you protect your mental peace and create more room for the things that truly matter. Next, the author introduces a profound concept: cooperate with the inevitable. Life is unpredictable, and there are some things we simply cannot control. And yet, so many of us fight tooth and nail against these inevitable events, asking ourselves over and over again, what if this happens? What if that happens? The author argues that this is not just illogical, it's exhausting. Instead of resisting, why not cooperate with what's bound to happen? Accept the situation as it is, and then focus on making the best of it. There's no point in worrying about something that's beyond your control. If you can't change it, let it be. Move forward with grace, knowing that by accepting the inevitable, you are freeing yourself from the heavy chains of worry. In short, the path to breaking the worry habit lies in staying busy, letting go of the little things, and embracing what you cannot change. By doing so, you reclaim your peace of mind and open the door to a life filled with more joy and less stress. In How to Stop Worrying and Start Living, the author emphasizes the incredible power of the mind and how the thoughts we nurture create our reality. It's as if our minds are constantly planting seeds. Whether those seeds grow into flowers or weeds depends entirely on the nature of our thoughts. If you continuously feed your mind with negative thoughts, such as, "I'll never have enough money to buy a house," that belief begins to dominate your mind, suffocating any hope or courage you might have had. Eventually, that negative thought becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. The author wants us to be mindful of this. Instead of letting fear and doubt run rampant, we should fill our minds with peace, courage, health, and hope. By doing so, we pave the way for those positive forces to manifest in our lives. Focus on what you want, not on what you fear. Avoiding conflicts, even with your enemies, is another crucial principle the author urges us to adopt. There's no reward in seeking revenge. Holding on to anger, plotting revenge, or waiting for karma to take its toll only eats away at your own peace of mind. The author is clear on this: revenge doesn't pay off in the way we think it will. It only poisons us, not the other person. Instead, develop the habit of forgiving, not for others but for yourself. Forgiveness releases you from the weight of anger and resentment, allowing you to move forward without the baggage of conflict. Why carry the burden of hatred when you could free your mind for better things? Another powerful point the author makes is to expecting gratitude. This might seem harsh, but it's a liberating mindset. When you do something kind for someone, do it for the joy of giving, not for the hope of receiving thanks. Expecting gratitude often leads to disappointment, and disappointment breeds worry. The key to happiness lies in giving without strings attached. If someone doesn't express their thanks, don't let it bother you. Focus on the fulfillment that comes from the act of giving itself. In How to Stop Worrying and Start Living, the author emphasizes the incredible power of the mind and how the thoughts we nurture create our reality. It's as if our minds are constantly planting seeds. Whether those seeds grow into flowers or weeds depends entirely on the nature of our thoughts. If you continuously feed your mind with negative thoughts, such as, "I'll never have enough money to buy a house," that belief begins to dominate your mind, suffocating any hope or courage you might have had. Eventually, that negative thought becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. The author wants us to be mindful of this. Instead of letting fear and doubt run rampant, we should fill our minds with peace, courage, health, and hope. By doing so, we pave the way for those positive forces to manifest in our lives. Focus on what you want, not on what you fear. Avoiding conflicts, even with your enemies, is another crucial principle the author urges us to adopt. There's no reward in seeking revenge. Holding on to anger, plotting revenge, or waiting for karma to take its toll only eats away at your own peace of mind. The author is clear on this: revenge doesn't pay off in the way we think it will. It only poisons us, not the other person. Instead, develop the habit of forgiving, not for others but for yourself. Forgiveness releases you from the weight of anger and resentment, allowing you to move forward without the baggage of conflict. Why carry the burden of hatred when you could free your mind for better things? Another powerful point the author makes is to expecting gratitude. This might seem harsh, but it's a liberating mindset. When you do something kind for someone, do it for the joy of giving, not for the hope of receiving thanks. Expecting gratitude often leads to disappointment, and disappointment breeds worry. The key to happiness lies in giving without strings attached. If someone doesn't express their thanks, don't let it bother you. Focus on the fulfillment that comes from the act of giving itself. The idea of find yourself and be yourself is a profound journey that the author considers the most essential adventure of your life. Imagine living your whole life not truly knowing who you are, hiding behind layers of expectations from others, from society, or even from yourself. That's the reality many people face, constantly chasing identities that don't belong to them. But the author challenges you to break free from this trap. Finding yourself isn't about being selfish or self-centered, it's about discovering the core of who you are, your passions, your strengths, and yes, even your weaknesses. When you find out what makes you unique, that's when you truly begin to live. It's like unlocking the blueprint to your own life. The author urges you to sit down, reflect, and figure out what areas you naturally excel in and what areas you struggle with. There's no shame in acknowledging both. In fact, embracing your weaknesses is just as important as celebrating your strengths. It's part of knowing yourself fully. Once you know yourself, the next step is to be yourself. This is easier said than done in a world that constantly tries to shape you into something else. But the author emphasizes that true happiness and fulfillment come from living authentically. When you find what you are passionate about, whether it's a career, a hobby, a lifestyle, you unlock an energy inside you that drives effort. Passion produces effort, and effort leads to results. It's a cycle that starts with knowing who you are and what excites you. Imagine waking up every day with a sense of purpose, working not just because you have to, but because it aligns with your true self. That's what the author wants for you, a life driven by passion and authenticity. Now, let's talk about one of the most empowering principles the author offers: try to profit from your losses. Life is full of challenges, and setbacks are inevitable. But how you respond to those setbacks defines the direction of your life. When life knocks you down, you have two choices: you can either let it keep you down, or you can use it as a stepping stone to rise even higher. The author paints a picture of resilience, urging you to see every obstacle not as a roadblock, but as an opportunity for growth. Think about it: if life hands you a lemon, don't just sit there and complain about the bitterness. Instead, make lemonade. This is a metaphor for taking a negative situation and squeezing every bit of positivity out of it. It's about shifting your mindset from victim to victor. The author shares countless examples of people who faced unimaginable hardships but turned their struggles into fuel for success. They didn't let their losses define them; instead, they profited from them. This principle teaches you that even in the darkest moments, there's a lesson, a silver lining, or a hidden opportunity waiting to be uncovered. Maybe you failed at a job, but in that failure, you learned skills that will propel you to success in a future role. Maybe you lost someone dear to you, but in that loss, you discovered a new depth of strength and resilience you didn't know you had. By learning to profit from your losses, you shift your focus from what went wrong to what you can do to make it right. The author also highlights how many great achievers started from a place of disadvantage, facing significant losses or handicaps, but instead of giving up, they turned their weaknesses into strengths. It's a message of hope and determination. No matter how tough life gets, you always have the ability to transform your losses into gains. You have the power to learn, grow, and rise stronger than before. Every failure is just a lesson in disguise. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. Ultimately, both of these principles, finding yourself and profiting from your losses, are about taking control of your life. They challenge you to stop letting external forces, whether it's societal pressures or life's challenges, dictate your path. Instead, you are the driver of your own destiny. By knowing who you truly are and embracing both your strengths and weaknesses, you empower yourself to live authentically. And by learning how to turn every loss into an opportunity, you ensure that no setback can ever hold you back for long. In this way, the author presents a roadmap to living a life free of worry, where you're not bogged down by fear of failure or loss, but instead, you approach each day with confidence, knowing that no matter what happens, you have the strength to turn it into something positive. It's a mindset shift that leads to a life of resilience, purpose, and peace. Section 4: The Perfect Way to Conquer Worry. 1. Pray. The author emphasizes the incredible power that prayer holds in conquering worry. Think of prayer as a lifeline, a way to release the weight of your troubles. When you pray, you're not just speaking into the void, you're sharing your innermost fears and worries, and in doing so, you're reminded that you're not alone. Prayer connects you with something bigger than yourself, something that can provide comfort and solace in the darkest of times. It gives voice to what's troubling you, and this act of sharing, even in silence, brings immense relief. The author believes that prayer has the power to inspire, offering a renewed sense of hope and energy to tackle the challenges ahead. When you're weighed down by worry, prayer can lift some of that burden, allowing you to see your troubles from a fresh perspective. It's like having a heart-to-heart with a trusted friend who understands you completely, and just by speaking, you feel lighter, more focused, and ready to take on whatever life throws your way. 2. Live in the present. We've all heard the advice, live in the present. But the author goes deeper, acknowledging just how hard this simple-sounding principle can be in today's fast-paced world. With our hectic schedules and constant pressures, many of us carry a baseline of anxiety without even realizing it. We worry about our past mistakes or stress over future uncertainties, but in doing so, we lose sight of the only time that really matters, now. The author wants you to recognize that this tendency to dwell on the past or get lost in worries about the future will only wear you down. It creates a cycle of stress and exhaustion that leaves you feeling disconnected from yourself and your true potential. Living in the present is about mindfulness, being fully aware of where you are and what you're doing right now. It means not letting your thoughts wander to things that have already happened, which you can't change, or to events that haven't occurred yet, which you have no control over. The author explains that when you live in the present, you gain the power to focus on what you can do right at this moment. You become more centered, more peaceful, and more in tune with your actions. It's not about ignoring the past or future but realizing that the present moment is where life happens. By concentrating on the now, you open yourself up to fully experience life, free from the constant pull of worry. To conquer worry, the author insists that you must practice anchoring yourself in the present. This means being aware of your surroundings, your breath, and your actions. It can be as simple as stopping for a few minutes each day to appreciate the moment you're in. Feel the air, listen to the sounds around you, and notice the sensations in your body. This mindfulness will not only ground you but also serve as a powerful tool against worry. Instead of allowing your mind to run wild with fears of what might happen or regrets about what already has, you'll learn to focus on what you can control, the present moment. The author suggests that when we embrace living in the present, our worries lose their grip on us. Why? Because worry thrives on our anxieties about the future and our regrets about the past. But when we fully live in the now, those worries have nowhere to take root. You become focused, calm, and, most importantly, free from the chains of anxiety that often plague our thoughts. Ultimately, the message is clear. Prayer gives you the strength and inspiration to face life's challenges, and living in the present gives you the clarity and peace to enjoy life as it is. These two simple yet profound tools, when practiced together, form a powerful defense against the worries that so often threaten to overwhelm us. Section 5. How to keep from worrying about criticism. 1. Remember that unjust criticism is often a disguised compliment. The author explains that criticism, especially when it's unfair or unwarranted, is often nothing more than a reflection of someone else's jealousy or envy. Think about it for a moment. When people criticize you without good reason, it's usually because you've done something that has caught their attention. They might feel threatened by your success, achievements, or even your confidence. The author wants you to understand that unjust criticism is a signal that you're doing something right. You've stirred something in others, and rather than celebrating your efforts, they choose to bring you down. But here's the truth, unjust criticism is actually a hidden compliment. It means that you're accomplishing something significant enough for others to notice, even if they try to undermine you. Critics, more often than not, criticize from a place of insecurity. They might feel inadequate or jealous of your accomplishments, and their negative comments are their way of projecting those feelings onto you. The author suggests that instead of letting unjust criticism hurt you, you should take it as a backhanded compliment, a sign that you're doing something important, something worth noticing. Remember, no one kicks a dead dog. People don't waste time criticizing those who aren't making an impact. So, when you face criticism, see it for what it really is, a form of flattery, albeit disguised. 2. Analyze your own mistakes and criticize yourself. While unjust criticism from others may not always be valid, it's essential to take a step back and critically evaluate yourself. Self-reflection is one of the most powerful tools for personal growth. The author acknowledges that failing in something meaningful, whether it's in your relationships, career, or personal life, can be painful. These failures often consume our minds, leaving us stuck in a cycle of overthinking and self-doubt. But here's where the author encourages a shift in perspective. Instead of drowning in the negative emotions that come with failure, ask yourself, who am I, and who do I want to be? By answering these questions honestly, you begin the process of self-criticism, not to beat yourself up, but to grow and improve. The author emphasizes that self-criticism should be constructive, not destructive. It's not about dwelling on what went wrong but about identifying where you can improve. This optimistic approach to self-reflection focuses on specific, modifiable areas that you can work on. The author draws on research that shows people who constantly blame external events for their failures are more likely to fall into depression and suffer from health problems. This is because they feel powerless, believing that their circumstances are beyond their control. But by learning to take responsibility for your mistakes and critically analyzing your own actions, you shift from a victim mindset to a proactive one. You recognize that while you may not be perfect, you have the power to change and improve. Constructive self-criticism allows you to approach your mistakes with optimism. Instead of thinking, "I failed, so I'm a failure," you can think, "I didn't do as well as I could have, but here's what I can do better next time." It's this optimistic, solution-oriented thinking that prevents worry from creeping in. You become focused on progress, not perfection, and this mindset is crucial for overcoming worry. The author's message here is simple: criticism, whether from others or yourself, should be viewed as an opportunity for growth. Unjust criticism from others is often a reflection of their own insecurities, and you should see it as a sign that you're on the right path. On the other hand, self-criticism, when done constructively, allows you to identify your weaknesses, learn from your mistakes, and continue evolving into the best version of yourself. Instead of letting criticism cause you to worry or feel defeated, embrace it as a tool for self-improvement and a testament to your progress. Section 6. 6 Ways to Prevent Fatigue and Worry and Keep Your Energy and Spirits High. Rest before you get tired. The author emphasizes the importance of resting before you reach the point of exhaustion. Mental and physical fatigue often come with warning signs: feeling sluggish, mentally foggy, or irritable. These are your body's signals that it's time to rest. Waiting until you're completely drained not only diminishes your productivity but can lead to more significant issues like burnout, making it harder to recover. The key is to recognize when you're starting to feel tired and take a break before it turns into full-blown fatigue. Whether it's a short nap, a few minutes of mindfulness, or a relaxing activity, preemptive rest will keep you energized and ready to take on more challenges. Learn to relax at your work. Workplace stress is almost inevitable, but the author advises learning how to relax while you work. This might sound counterintuitive. How can you relax when you're supposed to be productive? But the truth is, small, mindful breaks can refresh your mind and enhance your productivity. Simple things like getting up to stretch, taking a quick walk outside, or engaging in light-hearted conversation with coworkers can provide a mental reset. If you let stress accumulate without taking breaks, you risk burning out or losing focus. By practicing relaxation at work, you can keep your energy high and your stress low. Protect your health and appearance by relaxing at home. Relaxation shouldn't just happen outside the office. The author points out that sometimes, we believe that the only way to relax is to go out, whether to a park, a restaurant, or an event. While these activities can be enjoyable, true relaxation often comes from creating a peaceful environment at home. Your home should be your sanctuary, a place where you can unwind completely. Spend time doing activities that calm your mind, like reading, meditating, or enjoying a quiet evening. When you focus on relaxation at home, your body and mind rejuvenate, and this will show in both your health and appearance. For good working habits that will help prevent fatigue and worry. A cluttered workspace can lead to a cluttered mind, causing both fatigue and worry. The author suggests 4 essential habits to keep your working environment organized, which will help reduce mental strain. Clear your desk of all papers except those related to immediate tasks. A clutter-free workspace leads to a clearer mind. Prioritize your tasks. Do things in the order of their importance. This prevents you from feeling overwhelmed and helps you focus on what truly matters. Tackle problems head-on. If you have all the necessary information to solve a problem, don't put it off. This will prevent issues from snowballing into larger worries. Learn to organize, deputize, and supervise. Delegation is key to managing your workload effectively and avoiding fatigue. Put enthusiasm into your work. The author believes that the attitude we bring to our work plays a significant role in how we experience it. It's not always the work itself that's draining, it's our mindset about it. When you approach your tasks with enthusiasm, even the most mundane duties become more manageable and enjoyable. Smile while you work, and try to find something positive in every task. This will not only boost your spirits but also improve your overall performance. Enthusiasm can be contagious, too, so you'll find that others around you may start feeding off your positive energy. Don't worry about insomnia. Worrying about not being able to sleep only worsens the problem. The author suggests that instead of getting stressed about insomnia, focus on relaxing your mind and body. Worrying about sleep leads to a vicious cycle. First, you worry about something else, which keeps you awake, and then you worry about not being able to sleep. The solution is to develop relaxation techniques, like deep breathing or guided meditation, to calm your mind and lower your heart rate. Creating a peaceful environment conducive to sleep, without obsessing over the fact that you're not asleep, can naturally help you drift off.